chemistry in everyday life. So this is the name of the chapter that we are going to begin now. Now, chemistry is very important in every walk of life. Now, let me enlighten you on this aspect. From the time you get up till the time you go to sleep, you have chemistry in action all around you. In fact, you yourself are a collection of various chemicals inside your body, and not only that, various chemical processes are taking place in coordination inside the body to sustain life in you and all around you. So that is the important role played by chemistry in our life, right? So we say that food, clothing and shelter are the basic necessities of man. So what are the basic necessities? You say food, clothing and shelter. So not only you and all the life around you, it is being sustained by the various chemical reactions taking place, the various biomolecules present inside living system, how they are interacting, how they are undergoing chemical changes. It is due to that life is being sustained here. So not only that, our basic requirements we say are food, clothing and shelter. Let us look at food. We say food can be divided into carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and so on. So whatever diet that you take for your existence or for sustaining life, all those materials are nothing but chemicals. So there is chemistry and chemical reactions involved in the digestion of the food that you take in also. And not only that, clothing, you have natural fibers and you have synthetic fibers. They are all chemicals which are helping to clothe you. So all the clothes that we use for protecting and covering ourselves, they are also a collection of chemicals, right? And not only that, you wear different colored clothes. So the dyes that are required to dye these clothes or color these clothes are also chemicals, right? And not only that, so the dyes and the fibers, these are what are required for clothing, isn't it? And they all involve chemicals. Not only that, shelter. Now we need to live somewhere safe. So for that you construct different houses, and not only houses, various commercial establishments. So for all construction purposes, you make use of what is cement, asbestos, you have concrete and so on, bricks. So all these materials are also chemicals. So you show me one walk of life where chemistry is not involved. So chemistry is involved in every sphere of life, not only the basic requirements of mankind, even the very life itself. All living organisms are made up of biomolecules which are nothing but chemicals. So in this particular chapter, we will discuss the application of chemistry in three major areas. Now in this discussion, we will examine three major areas in which chemistry plays a major role. So let us see what those major areas are. One is drugs, and the other that we will examine are food materials. So what is the role of chemistry in these areas, food materials, and thirdly we will talk about cleansing agents, substances used for cleaning, cleansing agents. So these are the three areas we are going to examine the action of chemistry or the role played by chemistry. So let us begin our discussion with the application of chemistry in what are called as drugs, right? So let us see what are drugs, how they are classified, how they act in the body, and what biological response they produce in the body. So, the first application of chemistry we shall study in what are called as drugs. Now, what are drugs? Drugs are nothing but chemical substances. They are chemicals, right? And these chemicals, when taken, they interact with biomolecules in our body. We have studied about biomolecules. So, various biomolecules you have like proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids and so on. So, there are various biomolecules which are playing a coordinated role inside the body for the smooth running of that particular organism. So, drugs are nothing but chemicals which directly interact with biomolecules inside living systems, and they produce a biological response. In that particular organism they produce a response which is called as biological response. So, how do you define drugs? Drugs are defined as the chemicals that are taken, and after being taken they interact with the biomolecules present in the living system and they produce a biological response. Such chemicals are called as drugs. Now, this biological response, if it is good or favorable for the organism and it is therapeutic, that means it solves certain problem that is there in the body, then you call such drugs as medicines. So, there is a slight difference between the words drug and medicine. So, drug is any chemical which produces a biological response when it interacts with the biomolecule of the living system. If that response is good, favorable and therapeutic, then you call that particular drug as a medicine. That is, when you fall sick, you take medicines, isn't it? So, medicines are nothing but drugs or chemicals which produce a favorable biological response in you. Not only you, any organism which is being treated, right? So, this is the distinction between a drug and a medicine. So, whether it is drug or medicine, both of them are chemicals, right? But both of them produce a biological response. If the biological response is good and therapeutic, then you call that particular drug as a medicine, right? So, after having defined what is a medicine, let us go further and see what are the various types of drugs that are available. How do you classify these drugs, right? Now, these drugs are usually low molecular mass substances. How low? 100 to 500 unified mass. So, the molecular mass of drugs usually lies in the range, they are considered as low molecular mass chemicals. So, it is between 100 and 500 unified mass units, right? And these drugs, if they are used for creating a therapeutic activity, then that process of using drugs for therapeutic action, that is called as chemotherapy. So, let us understand the meaning of this word chemotherapy. So, what is chemo? Chemo means use of chemicals. So, that is reflected by this first part of the name, that is chemo. And therapy means therapeutic response or activity if these chemicals are able to produce, then that process of using chemicals for producing therapeutic activity, that is called as chemotherapy. So, how do you define chemotherapy? It is use of chemicals to produce therapeutic activity. That means for treatment, therapeutic activity. Why do we use medicines? Medicines are used to diagnose to prevent and also to treat diseases. So, drugs or medicines are used for these purposes. What is that? Diagnosis. That means you find out what the problem is, that is diagnosis. Then you have treatment, how to treat, solve that problem there, treatment, and also for prevention. So, you have these vaccines which are used to prevent various types of diseases. So, diagnosis, treatment and prevention are the main key roles played by medicines for prevention of diseases and disorders. So, let us sum up what are drugs, what is the role they play and why we require them, and how you differentiate between a drug and medicine. As we said, drugs are low molecular mass chemicals which have their molecular mass in the range 100 to 500 U. They are basically chemicals. They interact with biomolecules in living systems and they produce a biological response due to interaction of these drugs with biomolecules in living systems. Biological response is produced. If that response is good and therapeutic, then you say those drugs are called as medicines. And why do we use medicines? For the purpose of diagnosis, that is to find out what is wrong with that particular person or organism, to treat certain diseases, whatever disease it is, and for the prevention of diseases and disorders. Prevention usually involves the usage of vaccines, right? Then we define the word chemotherapy. So, from the name itself you can guess chemotherapy is the use of chemicals for producing a therapeutic activity. So, the treatment that you are giving with the help of chemicals, that is called as chemotherapy. Now, let us go on to how these various drugs are classified. So, drugs are usually classified based on 4 important aspects. Classification of drugs. Now, here at this point let me mention another point, that is drugs should be taken, drugs or medicines, they should be taken according to the prescription from the doctor only. So, they have to be taken in prescribed doses only. Now, most of the medicines or drugs that we use are potential poisons if they are used in excess quantities. So, these drugs are not to be taken in excess quantities because they can produce fatal problems, right. So, medicines or drugs are always to be taken in a prescribed dose only, otherwise most of the medicines are potential poisons. Now, having said that, let us see how the drugs are classified. I said they are classified based on 4 aspects. Let us see what are the 4 aspects and then go into the details of each aspect. The first aspect is pharmacological activity. Pharmacological activity. So, based on the pharmacological action produced by the drug, you have different types of drugs. Another aspect is the drug action. So, inside the body what action it produces, that is drug action. And the third aspect for classification is we talk about the target response. So, molecular target response. Target response. We will discuss this in detail. Molecular target response is another aspect used and very important for the medicinal chemist. And fourth, based on the structure of the drug. So, structural features, structure of drug. So, broadly drugs can be classified taking into consideration these 4 major aspects. What are the four major aspects? One is pharmacological activity that the drug produces, then the drug action inside the body, then the molecular target interaction or the target response. We have already said drugs are chemicals which directly interact with biomolecules present inside the body. So, what response they produce in those biomolecules? Those biomolecules are called as targets. They are called as molecular targets. So, molecular target response, based on that also drugs can be classified. And lastly, based on the structure of the drugs, it is found that drugs having similar structure have or they produce a similar pharmacological activity, or their action or mechanism of action is very closely related to the structure of the drug. So, based on the structure also drugs are classified. So, these are the four major concepts based on which classification of drugs is done. Let us examine each aspect in detail to understand how they are classified. Let us begin with pharmacological activity. So, what is this pharmacological activity? Now, by taking these drugs, what effect externally is produced? That is called as pharmacological activity based. So, drugs are classified into analgesics. You have what are called as analgesics. You have antiseptics, then you have antipyretics, and so on. So, this classification is based on the pharmacological activity that is produced by the use of the drug. So, if you are using the drug to relieve pain, you call them as painkillers. Now, those painkillers are called as analgesics, and the pharmacological activity they produce is they kill the pain, or they reduce pain, or they give you rest from pain, right. So, analgesics are nothing but painkillers. So, their action is to remove the pain that is causing a problem to the individual. So, painkillers are called as, this is one pharmacological activity. So, based on the action of the drug in subsiding the pain, those particular drugs are all categorized under the category of analgesics. Then you have antiseptics like Dettol. We use, that's a very commonly used antiseptic there. What does Dettol do? It kills the germs. What if the germs are not killed? The germs can produce infection, and that can increase the wound, right. So, antiseptics are good at killing or inhibiting the growth of microorganisms like bacteria, virus, etc., which are disease causing and infection causing. So, such drugs which produce this pharmacological activity, that is killing the microorganisms or arresting the growth of microorganisms which produce infection and diseases, that class of drugs are called as antiseptics. So, what is the pharmacological activity produced by antiseptics? They kill or arrest the growth of microorganisms. So, this is the pharmacological activity produced by this class of drugs, that is antiseptics. Similarly, you have antipyretics. Now, as soon as somebody gets fever, immediately you reach for either crocin or dolo or something like that. So, these drugs, this class of drugs which bring down the body temperature in high fevers, they are called as antipyretics. Pyro is always related to heat. So, anti-heat. So, these are the drugs which reduce the body temperature in high fevers. So, that is the pharmacological activity which this particular class of drugs produces. So, antipyretics bring down body temperature in fevers, high fevers We know some of these drugs, Crocin, Dolo and so on, right. So, this is one mode of classification based on the pharmacological activity produced by the use of the drug. Now, let us go on to the second aspect. What is the second aspect? We said internally what is the action produced by the drug. Based on that also you can classify drugs. Let us see the second aspect of classification of drugs. What is the second? Drug action. Drug action. Based on drug action, let me give you an example to understand this particular aspect for classifying drugs. You have drugs which are called as antihistamines. What are antihistamines? Histamine is a compound, an organic compound. When present in the body, it can produce inflammation of various parts of the body. Yes, you can have inflammation of the skin and so on. So, inflammation is caused by an organic compound called histamine, and drugs which are anti to these histamine, that means drugs which hinder the action of histamine, they are called as antihistamines. So, they are interfering with the action of that particular compound histamine, which produces inflammation in the body. So, inflammation is caused due to the organic compound histamine, and drugs which act on this histamine and prevent its action in the body, they are called as antihistamines. So, this classification of drug is based on the action inside the body. So, that is the second aspect of classification of drugs, which you can understand with this example of antihistamine. So, what are antihistamines? They suppress or control action of what? Histamine, organic compound, histamine. And what is the action of histamine in the body? Histamine causes inflammation. Inflammation is burning sensation, inflammation of the various parts of the body, various body parts. So, what are histamines? They are drugs which suppress or control the action of the organic compound histamine. What does histamine do? It causes the inflammation of various body parts. So, if you take a drug, if you are having a burning sensation of the skin, inflammation of the skin that is being caused by the presence of histamine in the blood, then what happens? Taking the drug called antihistamine will suppress the activity of this particular compound histamine, and that will control the inflammation of the skin. So, classification of drugs based on their internal action inside the body, that is the second aspect of classification of drugs. Now, let us discuss the third aspect of drug classification, and that is, as I said, based on molecular targets. Based on molecular targets. Now, what are these molecular targets? Let us see. We have already said drugs are chemicals which interact with biomolecules inside the body, right? Now, these biomolecules are called as molecular targets. So, the biomolecules which are interacting with the drug, they are called as molecular targets. Now, based on the molecular targets, we can classify drugs into various categories, and this is a very important mode of classification because this studies the interaction produced after the interaction of the drug with the molecular target. What is the response produced in the molecular target? Based on that, drugs are classified. Usually it is found that if drugs have a similar have certain common structural features, then their action on the molecular targets is also similar. So, if you can understand the relationship between the structural similarity and the response that they produce in the molecular targets, then that becomes an important mode of classification of drugs. That means here you are classifying drugs based on the response that the drug is producing in the biomolecule with which it is interacting. So, after interaction of the drug with the biomolecule, some changes happen in the molecular target or the biomolecule. So, those biomolecules with which the drug interacts, those are called as molecular targets, and the response produced in these molecular targets is directly related to the structure of that particular drug. So, drugs having common structural features generally produce a similar kind of response in the molecular targets. So, if you can classify drugs based on this particular aspect, that becomes a very important mode of classification, and it is considered as one of the most important modes of classification, and it is very useful to the medicinal chemist. Medicinal, who designs the medicines, medicinal chemists. So, what is this basis? It is based on the response produced. Response produced where? In the biomolecules. In the biomolecule. These biomolecules only are called as molecular targets. Molecular targets. Because after all, the drug is targeting that particular molecule. That's why they are called as molecular targets in the biomolecules or molecular targets. So, based on this, if you can classify drugs, then you have a whole variety of drugs having some common structural features which can produce a similar kind of response in that particular biomolecule. So, this is the third aspect for classifying drugs. And last but not the least, the structure of the drug is also very important in its action in the body and in the response that it produces. So, you can also classify drugs based on the structure of the drug. So, let us discuss that last aspect of classification of drugs. Now, the fourth aspect. Let us see the fourth aspect used for classifying drugs. And the fourth one is based on structure of the drugs. So, you can classify drugs into various categories depending upon their internal molecular structure. So, that is the basis for this classification. You will understand this better if we give an example of, say, sulfonamides. So, what are sulfonamides? They are a class of drugs having a certain common structure. So, all sulfonamides have some structural similarity. Sulfonamides, right? That is, write the general structure of sulfonamides. You have NH2 with a benzene ring, and that is attached to the sulfonic acid group, is double bond O, and NH, a secondary amino group. So, this class of drugs which are called by the name sulfonamides, they have this general structure where R is an alkyl group, and if any drug is having a structure which fits into this general formula, you can call it as a sulfonamide. So, what is the use of this kind of classification? We have already said that the structure of the drug plays a very important role in the mechanism of its action on the biomolecule. So, after all, the drug has to go and interact with the biomolecule. So, the structure of the drug is directly related to how it is going to act on the biomolecule or the molecular target. We have already seen the molecular targets are acted upon by the drug based on its structure. So, structural classification of drugs also plays a very important role. So, this is another important method of classifying drugs based on the structure of the drug. As I said, all sulfonamides have a similar mechanism of action on the biomolecules. And which class of drugs are called as sulfonamides? Those which have a structure which fits into this general formula. What is this general formula here? You have an amino group attached to a benzene ring with S double bond O, two of them, and a secondary amine group, that is NHR. So, this is another mode of classification of drugs based on the structure of the drug. So, let us sum up classification of drugs. We said drugs are chemicals which directly interact with the biomolecules in the body and they produce a biological response, right? And based on various aspects we have classified drugs. 4 basic aspects involved in the classification of drugs we have seen. What was the first one? First one was pharmacological activity, that is externally what do you observe, what changes are observed externally, that is pharmacological activity. There we saw analgesics, that are painkillers, antipyretics which control or bring down the body temperature in fever, and so on. Then we saw how drugs are classified based on the drug action, that is inside the body what action they produce. Antihistamines we saw which suppress the activity of the compound histamine which causes inflammation of the body parts. So, that based on the drug action inside, that is second mode of classification. Then we saw the response of the molecular targets. So, when the drug is taken, what response is produced in the biomolecule, based on that is the very important mode of classification of drugs which is very useful to the chemist, that is the medicinal chemist. And lastly but not the least, it is also important to classify drugs based on their internal structure, because internal structure is directly related to the mechanism of drug action inside and its interaction with the biomolecule. So, we saw the example of sulfonamides which are a class of drugs having a structure which fits into this general formula. So, all drugs having this general formula produce one type of activity or response in the biomolecule. So, this is the fourth aspect that is used in classifying drugs. Next we will see the interaction of drugs with various biomolecules. Basically, we are going to see 2 types of interactions. One is interaction of the drug on what are called as enzymes, and secondly interaction of the drug on receptors. So, these are the 2 interactions of the drug that we are going to study in detail before we go on further.